Hello, my name is Dan Basse, president of Agresource Company, joined by Dr. Bill Tierney, our director of research here at Agresource in Chicago, to talk just a few minutes of what's happening with world grain trade and U.S. grain trade after the coronavirus. Coronavirus is the headline of the day. Everybody's talking about it. Agricultural markets have sold off sharply because of it, Bill. Is there a rationale in terms of soybean or corn export demand out of the U.S. that you're concerned about?
Well, of the two commodities, I'm very, very concerned about soybeans. China has to come in and buy very large quantities of old crop soybeans if we're going to make the USDA's export projection. Now, as you know, Dan, one of the things that we do is every couple of weeks we take a look at what we call PACE analysis, where we take a look at export commitments as of that date, compare it to annual. So obviously, if you're going to have a really big export program, you're expecting that at certain dates you're going to make a certain percentage of it. In the case of soybeans, export commitments are the furthest behind that we've ever observed in the history that we have, going all the way back to 1974, the furthest behind relative to where they should be to meet the USDA's export projection. That tells me that the USDA's projection built in a very large sale of U.S. soybeans to China, which we have not yet seen.
Very interesting, Bill. And in the case of soybeans, Brazilian, I would imagine, soybean exports or commitments are picking up the slack.
Well, that's what's got a lot of people confused. If coronavirus is having an impact on demand, and I'm not saying it won't show up, but we can't document it yet, because while China has stopped buying U.S. soybeans, I think it's been something like 6 or 7 weeks since the last time they purchased, they have been buying soybeans out of Brazil at a record pace. Now, the Brazilian marketing year starts the beginning of February. We're 3 weeks into the marketing year, and Brazil has got 15 million metric tons of export commitments on the books. The huge majority of that goes to China. That is up 25% from a year ago, and it is record for this date. So China is buying soybeans. China's buying a record quantity for this date from Brazil.
So if the Chinese don't show up under the Phase 1 agreement and buy, let's say, what would you say, 7 or 8 million metric tons of U.S. old crop beans, we expect the USDA to take its export estimates down in the WASDE reports forthcoming.
They're going to have to, but they may not do that until early summer months.
Thank you again, Bill. My name is Dan Basse, president of Agresource Company, coming to you from Chicago.